Hi there, everyone. This is Leah from Steps to Change, and thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a reasonably quick introduction to the ReclaimMe program. And for those who have gone through the PLF sequencing, are already a little bit aware of the power of our beliefs and how we can ultimately influence our choices, our health, and also our life experiences. So this is going to be an overflow. Is really just going to be stepping you through what we can do and the structure that I like to use when I'm working with clients individually or also very much in a group setting. So it is a PowerPoint slide, so if you want to ask a question too, just raise your hand in the chat box and I will get to you, if not during the discussion, then at the end. Okay, so what to expect from this? As I've already said, it's going to be looking at how our beliefs, in fact, drive all the things that we do. And I mean just even the time that we wake up, how we actually feel, how we choose the food, the exercise, who we talk to, how we talk to things, people, and how we perceive things, how we actually interpret our life situations. Where do you fit in the scale of overwhelm to owning your life? And there is a spectrum, okay? And this can change from one day to the other, so don't think you're stuck in a position. And that's the beauty, that you can, in fact, make different choices to create a totally different outcome. Hi there, welcome. Thanks. I haven't missed too much. It's all good. Okay, so introduction to the ReclaimMe program. For those who are really ready to make a difference, those who are ready to step up, own their lives, make different choices based on changing their beliefs and letting go of the things that are limiting them. Okay, so does that sound like you? Are you ready? Are you the one that's now going to say, I really would like to make something different. I need to get on top of my health maybe, or I need to make a different choice around careers or my life in general. I want to stop feeling the way I'm feeling because I don't like the way I'm feeling, and I really want to be different, okay? Maybe you actually don't know what different looks like for you yet, and that's okay, because it certainly took me quite a few years to work it out. Okay, so, and you also are given the opportunity to secure your place and at a discount today when you go through this whole webinar. Okay, so my qualifications, what makes me appropriate to actually help you? Well, there's a few reasons, to be honest, and the first one, I am an NLP practitioner, so I do understand how the mind thinks, how the mind actually can change, and the principles of that. I am also a qualified dietitian, so within the medical model, so I understand medical nutrition, and I am doing further study in that line as we speak through ACNM as well, which is an organisation to talk about nutritional medicine and not just nutrition. And I am also a qualified RTT practitioner, which is a style of hypnotherapy that really dives in deep, helps to clean out, remove and delete, destroy all those lovely big words of change to our beliefs that are limiting us and stopping us from being the best that we can be. And on a more personal notice, I have years of experience. I have had years of self-loathing, self-neglect, self-harm, and to be honest, lots of really socially inept capabilities. So I have struggled with a lot of what people have experienced in my clinic. I see it all the time. Often it's like looking at myself when I was much younger, and it's a little bit confronting at times, but also very humbling to think that I've come this far, and it's a long, long way. I am so not the person I was 5-10 years ago, and no one has to stay as they were. We all have the opportunity to grow, and I would like to think that I'm able to help some people to achieve what they really want to be. Okay, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty. My wish for you is really that you don't have to spend the same amount of time that I did. Now, I'm talking about 10-15 years of serious grief, and then it took me another couple of years to really find myself and then find my position in my life. And I don't want that for you, because there's nothing worse than being stuck in pain, physically, mentally, or emotionally, and really not knowing and not having a support network to really help and guide you, and at times to push through, you know, those really difficult situations. Now, just because we do this style of program doesn't mean it happens overnight, and it certainly doesn't mean that it's not pain-free. There is always growth, okay? Growth brings up different hidden agendas in our own psyche. It does bring up a lot of hidden beliefs and things you really, I didn't even realize that was in there. So there is still a challenge period, but we can help you step through it so much faster. And I would like to say painless than what it could be if you did it all by yourself. Now, there's absolutely no guarantees because I am not you and I'm not your, I haven't had your experiences, but we can help support you to make the difference. So if this looks like something that you're interested in, let's have a bit of a history lesson and a little bit of an education. Okay, so if we work on the principle that up to about the age of 7, we have accumulated most of our thoughts and our beliefs and interpretations. We may have even created some personal vows and protection mechanisms within our own belief systems. As we grow up, they are reinforced or they are actually modified slightly to address the situations that we find ourselves through our adolescence and our early adult years. The new beliefs can certainly be created depending on the intensity of the emotion or what has happened, and that's the good and the bad, okay? So one of my positive beliefs was it is possible to make a difference, and this came, you know, in my mid to late 20s when I realized that, you know, if I looked at life differently, I could actually make different outcomes. So previously, as I said before, you know, I really did feel my life was really, really tough. I was self-harming. I was certainly not wanting to be on this planet. And I really, really struggled with life in every facet, to be very honest with you. So I can relate to people who are stuck and feeling very overwhelmed, very confused and feeling very isolated because I've been there. I know what it's like. However, I also do know now from experience that beliefs do make fundamental choices, and a lot of them are knee-jerk. Some of them are the most hidden of insidious things, and until we become aware of our beliefs, we may not be able to make different choices, knowingly or not. Or even if we want to make different choices, there is the subconscious is in fact driving a lot of what we attract. And all that's also written in my book, What the Mind Sees, the Body Feels, that Creates and Attracts, which is the poster on behind me. Okay, so if you look at it from this perspective, you know, we have our beliefs create our thoughts, and our thoughts create actions. So if we believe that if we're looking from a health perspective, you know, we're overweight or we're fat or we're lazy, then we have these thoughts. And our thoughts are not, if we're following that vein, are not likely to go, oh, well, I'm going to go exercise and eat the right foods and feel really fit. What tends to happen when we have a negative thought stream is we express our true belief, say, I feel fat and lazy. Now, they're not a healthy belief, and I think you'll agree. And our thoughts are, well, it's too hard to go to the gym anyway. I'm already fat. I might as well eat something that I want to eat instead of what we choose to eat. So when we bring those beliefs to the conscious reality and go, okay, this is what you're thinking, this is what you believe about yourself, how will we swap that around? How will we clean out that belief that you're lazy and reframe it and put in a more positive belief? One that, yes, life has been challenging today, but I now choose and able to make a difference. I am worth and I'm lovable enough to, in fact, make different outcomes. So then our thoughts become a lot more loving. Okay, I'm having a tough day. However, I'm still worth going to the gym because I still value what I feel like when I go to the gym. I feel better. So then we're more likely to go to the gym or do activity of some kind. We tend to also eat better when we feel better. So it's really catch-22 in some ways. So in many cases, looking at the belief as to why we do things and not just the superficial ideas, but really diving deep and seeing the patterning of why we do think the way we think and where that has come from, and then remove them, translate them into a positive belief, a positive affirmation, and then everything else starts to shift. Okay. So when we're looking at the crossover, we have our beliefs that create thoughts, and thoughts create actions. We also then have memories, emotions, and feelings that can trigger a belief to come to the surface that also triggers our thoughts, okay? Or even our thoughts can create the memories when we start to deep dive. Thoughts and lifestyle choices create body symptoms and how we interact with others too. So there's this really big, deep overlay of reality, and the best part about it, we can literally come in at pretty much any phase to kickstart the change. So we can come in and sit down and do a strategy session together or a nutrition session together and okay, this is what's going on. On the physical aspect of your choices, this is what you're doing. You know, you're eating these foods. This is your body symptoms and your pathology. Let's look at this, but let's also look at the thoughts behind it. And when you're ready, let's go for the big one. Let's go for the belief system that's creating this at the end of the day. The other thing I'd like to point out is that our beliefs and our feelings, emotions, because they are chemical reactions in the body, they can directly influence, and I mean directly, like cause and effect, trigger body symptoms. So that's another big reason why I love to work on this model of looking after nutritional aspect of our physical body, but also deep diving into changing our beliefs and our feelings and emotions, because they do change body function. Another way of looking at this is our unconscious belief creates our perceptions, how we see and interpret things, and then that creates our thoughts. There is a story, an analogy story that goes, you know, there's a husband and wife sitting at the kitchen table one day and a neighbour moves in next door. Anyway, the wife and the husband have breakfast every single day, and she keeps saying to the husband, oh, her washing is so dirty, so dirty, so dirty. And it would go on for quite some time. In the end, the husband got a bit frustrated by this, and he, without telling the wife, cleaned the windows. The next morning, they're both sitting down at the breakfast table, and the wife piped up and said, oh, she's finally worked out how to do the washing. The husband's sitting there smirking and says to himself, yeah, I cleaned our windows. So just think about that. If the windows of our life is in fact our thoughts and our perceptions, they are the filter to how we interpret our world. And we clean those perceptions out by cleaning out our unconscious beliefs and make them healthier, then our thoughts are becoming cleaner. Okay, we can actually work and move and think and do from a place that's self-loving, self-caring, self-nurturing, and then our actions in every aspect of our life follow through from that. So how would that feel? Just ask yourself that question. If you were to start making cleaner windows, so to speak, of your own mind, what could change in your life? Yep, I agree with you, Mary. That would certainly make a big difference. Yep. So there's people are coming back and they're saying that make them feel a bit better, potentially not be so critical, might have a bit more empathy and compassion for themselves and others. Yeah, good stuff's coming back. All right, so let's move on. It's still very cold here. Sorry, that's why I was warming my hands. So let's have a look at where you might be at this moment. You might be feeling quite tired and it's just too exhausting with everything that you're doing in your life. Maybe it's, you know, your family, your career, maybe you need to look after elderly parents, or maybe other people, you know, the demands of life, the committees that you're agreed to work in, or the different commitments that you've made to yourself. Maybe you can go back to study. You know, all these things can be quite overwhelming. One question I'll have for you though, if you are overextending to your outside world, your outside commitments and relationships, why? Now, I know the why question is very confronting to most, and I was always advised when I was going through my marriage breakup, never ask that question. But I personally, and I still do believe, it's a very powerful question to hit through and just go through BS and get down to, why do we overextend ourselves? Why do we choose to neglect ourselves? And if we're really honest and we do the deep dive, then often it's a case of, well, I want to be loved because if I'm giving to others, then love will come back. Or that's my duty because my mum did it, my grandmother did it. You know, that's what women do. We're just givers and givers and givers. But I'll come back on that and say, well, if you've got an empty cup, then how are you going to look after and hydrate yourself if your cup is physically empty? How can you drink or eat from an empty bowl? So we do need to step back and start to really look after ourselves. And it's not selfish, it's actually self-honoring. And again, those messages that it's selfish to look after yourself and then to give to others is actually very hurtful, and I will say quite a self-abusive action. Because when we abuse ourselves, it's actually to undermine ourselves or to hurt ourselves. And why should we have to constantly give and not look after ourselves? Another way you might be feeling is that you're disappearing into nothing because you know, maybe one of your beliefs is that I'm never meant to be heard anyway, so no one sees or hears me. And that was one of mine. I was always meant to be the wallflower. I was not meant to be seen or heard, and that was a self-protection mechanism, and also reinforced that I was the youngest of 5. All my other siblings had other issues greater than my needs, and so I was just never really heard, or I felt I was never really heard, understood, or important. And that certainly did carry through most of my life. And I still sometimes pick up myself and go, oh, this is, my old friend is reminding me that I actually am worth more than being a wallflower. I have so much to give in a very helpful way to people who wish to hear, that I need to, you know, break down another layer of this perception, this wrong perception of myself, that I'm not worth hearing. So where do you feel sometimes that you're just dissolving into nothing? Maybe again, it's the demands of the children, your partner or your husband or your career. If you're sole parenting, it can be very diminishing because so many parts of you have to go out to just live. You know, you need to consider your children's needs and feelings. You need to put their schooling first. You need to make money or budget the money. You may not be able to have as much as a social life as you'd like. All these things add up. And the more we give, the less we're able to hold ourselves together easily. And not everyone does have a really good support system to literally reinforce and to hold themselves together easily. And another feeling is this really frustration by the lack of change or lack of ability to change and take ownership back. Okay, and I see it a lot. You know, even some of the older women that I talk with and some of the older men I talk to in clinic, they go, I just don't know what to do anymore. I feel this and I feel that. You know, this is catching up. Health is catching up. I can't move forward for whatever reason. And the sensation of frustration, overwhelm, disheartened, you know, sense of just wanting to give up because they don't have any more the resources or the skills or the tenacity or the, you know, the ability, because they're so exhausted and tired, to actually make those next steps without really being held and supported. So if these 3 things feel like you, so the frustration, I'm just going to go back, you know, feel like you're disappearing into nothing, you maybe not even really knowing yourself anymore, or that you're so tired and not able to care for yourself because everyone else is taking parts of you with your permission, but you're doing it, then there is hope, okay? I've been here. Plenty of other women have been here too, and we have been able to reclaim our lives and take it back. So my next question to you is, and we're just going to go through a bit of a stepping process to see where you feel you're at the moment, and I'll show you to where I think the ideal position to work with within this program. Now, I do have lots of different skills, but there are certainly some people that are too vulnerable and out of my scope of expertise, and I will own that straight up. So if you find or you feel that you are right down the bottom here, now this, I'm not in any way saying that I'm reinforcing that you are wrong. I'm actually saying you deserve to get better care than what I can give you within this program, okay? Maybe it is just working one-on-one without the group setting. Ideally, it is working with a really trusted psychologist or counsellor or person that you can really help support and get structures in place to support you best. Okay, you might need, you know, more weekly sessions to get you stable Okay, so if you're really in that self-harm, really in that really trapped position, then this course is not the best for you. Okay, the one-on-one maybe, but I'd really like to talk to you first and double check where you're at. I don't want you to waste your money, and I don't want you to commit and then find it's not best for you. Okay, again, I've been there, I've done that, and I don't want you to experience that, because it's even more disheartening, and to be honest, it's actually very demeaning. Okay, so I don't want to put you in that position. You might actually feel that you're right at the top, that you've actually nailed it. You actually know exactly what you're doing, how you're doing it. Your life is traveling on really, really, really well. And again, you might get some benefits out of this course, but it may not really be at your level. You've most likely already transcended what we have in the offer of the ReclaimMe program. And I'll just high five you at this point and say, yeah, check it out. But you know, if you want to join, you're more than welcome to join, because your experience and expertise will certainly support the group. And yes, there will be some little tools or nuggets of information that really might just push you to the next level, but it's not really designed to get you to the next level if you're already at, you know, the top end of okayness in life. The people I'm wanting to work with, I'm choosing to work with because this is my primary skill set, are those at this point. So the orange and the green. So the orange is being, I want what she's got, you know, starting to look around, confident enough to go, yep, I can do that. I'm deserving. I want it. I can do it. I'm choosing to do it. You most likely have already started to look around, reading books or doing some other coursework or maybe some meditations and things. And you're starting to get really curious as to how life got to this point anyway. What happened? Or where am I working from? And that curiosity doesn't kill the cat. The curiosity literally propels you into the next level, going, yeah, man, this is going to happen, and I'm going to do it like this. So you're really starting to explore, and yes, it can definitely still be very much like a roller coaster, but more of a rocky, not a rocky rickety, but you know, a waving roller coaster, not this big convoluting, spinning, torrential thing that I refuse to go on. It's about unblocking. It's really about seeing where you're at and going, no, this ain't working anymore. This is not going to be my life anymore. I'm willing to deep dive, get into those beliefs that are stopping, limiting, hurting, and confusing me, and we're going to transform them. We're going to release them. We're going to let go of them. We're going to actually say, that is so not me anymore. I am not that child when I took on that belief. I am not reinforcing the notion I took on when I was a teenager, I saw as a teenager. I am not that person anymore. And you're gaining the confidence. You've got a variety of tools that we can teach you. We will actually teach you in the group. And you're making really major stepping forwards. Okay, this is exciting stuff. These two levels are really exciting. That's just blowing your mind level. But this is really exciting because you're at the point where you go, you know what, I really do deserve to be different. I want to be different, and I'm going to make a difference so I can get to this and absolutely and utterly owning it, baby. This is going to be my life from here on. And being proud of that, not in an egotistical, horrible way, but going, you know what, I can do it. So I want you to think about where you're at. Where's your position? If this is you, welcome, okay? Let's just talk serious stuff now, and let's just move ahead. Everyone can stay on a course and hear it, and you might know someone who can benefit, who is in this position, or you might just like to start thinking about what else you could do with your life. Okay, let's move forward. So, too far. So this is what the actual program looks like. There is 9 very distinct phases, but it goes over 12 weeks, okay, because we have rest weeks. And the program itself is actually a lifetime membership. So you don't get cut out at the end of 12 weeks, because progress and change and development does take time. And it's not about rushing you through. It's about giving you 9 distinct areas of change and supporting the theory behind that you can come and revisit, go practice, come back, go back and come back, okay? Now, the other reason why it's 12 weeks is that we do have built-in one-on-one sessions. So this is about honouring where you are and your belief and your life experiences and helping you to change them. Okay, so you get the greater support, but we actually support you as an individual. And then we get the whole synergistic effect happening. Okay. So we look at mind-body blocks. You know, our mind dictates to the body also talks to the mind. We change body chemistry, we change our perceptions, we change our feelings, and it resonates out. The next week we talk about a daily guide, and this is just an example of what your week email looks like. It might look a bit busy, but the benefit is there is a daily diary, so you can look at your food, because I am a nutritionist after all, and it's about that accountability. When you're wanting to make food changes or health changes, it's shown to be beneficial to have an accountability. Now, you may not want to do that for the whole 12 weeks or thereafter. You might just want to get aware, okay, because awareness is always the first part of change, and go, oh, that's what's going. And then in our nutrition chat or the strategy chat, then we can go, okay, let's just tweak this. Let's just spin this around a little bit. Then you have a base to actually work with. You also do every day, there is quotes, so very empowering quotes to just keep you motivated and keep you on target. There is also every week an educational section that's part of that week's email journal package. You also do get the benefit of myself popping in. We also have the group work. Third week is Wheel of Life. This is where we start to get nitty-gritty. This is usually our first one-on-one session to start changing your beliefs, working out where you're at, where you really want to be, targeting where you want your changes to go from and to. This is very, very personal because, like I said, everyone is different. Everyone has different histories, different personalities, different positions of life, and we need to tailor this to you. So this is the other big advantage, is that you do get the individual sessions within the group work, and you also get to tailor the information around your needs. We do look at the digestive system as an entirety. Again, metaphysically, it is literally central to you. It runs through all the major chakra systems. So from the Eastern philosophy, it also, if it is upset, whether it's changing, maybe you've got reflux, you've got gorge, you've got IBS or SIBO, or maybe you have food intolerances, maybe you have fatty liver, or maybe you have adrenal fatigue, you have thyroid issues. So from a medical perspective, again, remember I am trained in this. This is a really critical flipping week as well. Lots of insights, lots of awareness, and you might want to, book your nutrition session, your nutrition strategy session after on our 5th week, when we deep dive into beliefs. And this is where we start to really, really talk about how, when, why, and how. We're doing beliefs all the way through, but this particular week is actually massive around beliefs, perceptions, and chucking a few TNTs into our systems and exploding. But we don't just explode and let the rubble sit there. We, in fact, sweep it away, really clean it up, and then we water it, literally just dump lots and lots and lots and lots of positive affirmations, positive messages, positive reinforcements, positive strategies into the whole system, so that you work forward from that point in a very healthy, positive way. Now, we do that throughout, okay? So don't think you have to wait to week 5 or 6 to get this benefit. We do them throughout, but that particular week is the one that we really get hammered in a positive way. Because from there, we start to make our story change. Very structured, very elegantly. You get to talk through your past, but go, no, I'm not that, I'm not that, I'm not that. I'm choosing this, and this is who I am now, and this is who I'm growing into. And lots of I am statements. I am powerful, I am strong, I am creative. Looking at your weaknesses now as you see them, changing the weakness as you see it, and put it into the positive. Lots of reframing. So you get to create your story the way you want it to be. So how do you think this feels now? If you will go back, so you understand where you've come from, where your current state of life is, And we start to play and start to go, okay, this is what I want to be. And then we start to unblock the blockages, unblock the limiting beliefs, the actions, the thoughts, your perceptions. How do you think that's going to be different for you? What's the opportunities that you can see here? Yep. Huge, massive, scary. Yep. Is it possible? Yes, it is definitely possible. I'm just reading off the screen. It's exciting, isn't it? It is very exciting because you are given the tools to actually make a difference. And you make the story on your terms, which is why it's Reclaim Me, creating your life on your terms, simply because of that, because we give you the tools. Okay, so some of the tools that we do and we talk through and teach you is EFT, so also known as tapping, rapid transformational therapy, which is an extremely powerful way of hypnotherapy. Very, very fun, actually, and it stays, you are given a recording, again, it's personal. Lots of awareness and mindfulness, which is packed into the journal that you get each week. Journaling and sharing and talking through, it's about you owning it, but also coming into the group, into the Facebook group and sharing, go, oh, this is what happened to me. This is what come up. This is my awareness. Oh, I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, but hey, this is how it actually shook down. Lots and lots and lots of NLP reframing. So seeing something and flipping the silver lining effect, you know, what else could actually be playing out? What is the possible message from this? What is the lesson that you can take from this? I really encourage people to start looking at what's actually going on and the other ways it could actually be interpreted by other people, you know, not from a derogative way, but going, okay, well, this is your interpretation, but could it also mean this? Could it mean that? Could it be this? Could it be that this limiting belief is actually just showing its face and going, oh, I don't want to think that. I don't want to feel like this anymore, and I choose to actually change that. Ho'oponopono is also a very powerful tool. It's just 4 lines. You know, basically it's please forgive me, I'm sorry, I love you, and when we let it go. And I did this a lot around my children, you know, forgiveness for myself to them, and also some of the things that went down when things were really falling apart. And it's very calming. So also keep in mind, every time you're feeling an emotion, whether it's positive or negative, it does change your chemistry. So if we're coming from a place of antagonism or fear or sadness or grief, and then we can move that to a more positive acceptance, and still maybe at times feeling the guilt, but lighten it at least and get it to a lighter vibration, then you're changing and you're lightening your whole persona internal chemistry. And that's extremely important, because we do know a depressed person has increased risk of depressed immune system. The more angry a person is, the more risk they are of developing inflammatory states, so diabetes, arthritis, reflux, you know, conditions that are breakdown of the body instead of building up. We also do meditations. They're available online, and we use a whole combination of these, and we might use part of it in one session, we might not do it in another. A lot of it we can actually do in the group sessions, so we most likely will do a meditation every time we do a group online talk, okay? So I can teach you these things, so you can use them at your own timing as you need them. And then our last week is unleashing, all right? So if you go back 2 slides, you know, we started to make your story on your terms, then the shifts really start to happen. Now this, I think, would actually be after the 12 weeks, to be honest, but you get taught and encouraged, and, you know, how do you actually start to recognize, what does it feel like? And we start to really implant the feeling aspect of your future. So again, it's about, you know, becoming aware, unblocking or cleaning out the limiting beliefs and opening up the space so that you can then literally step into the power on what you really want it to be. So how does it sound so far, girls? Are you excited? I'm excited. Yep. Okay. So let's go on to the next step. What I'd like you to do, because the reward and recognition, as I said, is most likely going to happen after the 12 weeks has finished. I'd like you to just take a bit of a check-in at the moment, and you see on your screen that there's 5 photo frames, and I'd like you to think of them as your future selves. So if you close your eyes and just take some really, really deep breaths, and just calm your thoughts. I know you're excited, but just calm down a little bit. Use that excitement to go 6 months into the future. Just think where you'd like to be, and then feel the feelings of that. What sounds do you hear? Who else is there? What are you doing? Are you celebrating? Or are you making plans and you're going, oh, this is so good? So what are you feeling? What's the excitement? What's the buzz around this? What are you actually planning to do? What are you doing? Who else is there? What are the sounds you're hearing? The sensations on your skin? What's the music? All the voices? What are they saying? Maybe you want to get an award or something. Maybe you're going to celebrate. I don't know, maybe traveling. Whatever works for you. So really, really feel into that. And just close it down. You're not going to leave it alone. Just close it down for now. Move into the next photo frame. Just literally step in your mind's eye into the next photo frame and let it expand. Feel yourself expand into maybe 2 years from now. And again, just look around. Where are you? What do you hear? Who else is there? What do you see? What do you smell? And if you're eating or drinking or celebrating with food or in a festival or something, what are you eating? And again, just really feel what it feels like roughly 2 years from now. What are you doing? Where are you doing this? How does it actually feel? And just, just puff yourself up a bit and create a bit more space in your persona to feel all these feelings that you're feeling. You can just totally and utterly max that. And just gently close that down. It's not going to go anywhere. And step physically into the last photo frame. And maybe this is 5 or even 10 years down the line. Where do you want to be in 5 to 10 years? And I got no idea how old any of you are or what you're currently doing. But where do you want to be? How do you want to feel? How do you want to be living? Who do you want to be living with, maybe? And again, what do you hear? The sensations that you feel. Who are you sharing these experiences with? And again, just puff yourself up. Feel your being expand to that. And just really breathe that in. Really feel it in every part of you. So before we close this one down, what I'd like you to do is imagine that you've got, your favorite color coming in through the top of your head, through your crown chakra, and then just swishing round and removing any negativity, any blocks, any limitations, any thoughts of going, I can't do that. And I want you to see, feel, and sense that color and the sensation of that spirit, the healthy spirit of love, literally coming in and helping you to remove any blocks, limitations, or fears, doubts, concerns from your being, from your energy field, okay? Just let us see it swirling around your brain, in your skull, around your face. Let it move through your neck so you can actually talk your truth from this space of feeling of love and vibrancy of 10 years down the line. Through your shoulders and your chest cavity, through your heart, through your digestive system. Let's let it all clean it out so that this beautiful light and color and the feeling, let's just remove any negativity, any blocks through your hips, through your upper legs, and just push all those negativities, the fears, the doubts, uncertainties, and anything else that might be blocking you down through your feet, and making sure that your feet have been opened. So just pull the cork out from the soles of your feet, literally, and let that all empty out. Okay, so just do a really good sweet clean. That from the top of your head right down through your body, every single part of you, every molecule in between your DNA, that light has been able to move through, clean, remove, take out, put it together at the bottom of your feet in this beautiful gift box. Put the lid on the gift box, wrap it up, and then chuck it up in the air. Maybe put it in a balloon if you want, but chuck it up in the air. And then just see it explode in the fireworks of self-love. And let it just fall back down to you. So your beliefs, the stops, and the blockages that are maybe going to work, because we've changed them already. We started the change process today instantly, coming down in the form of self-love, self-care, stardust, and just stand there and just receive it. And so when you're ready, when you collected as much as you saw yourself back as love, come back and open your eyes. And how did that feel? I always get tingly when I do this exercise. It's very calming. It is, yes. And you're starting to feel a bit different already. It's like magic, isn't it? And it's just so simple, but it's so, so powerful. So this is just a few things that other people have said, okay? Recommendations, they've worked with me, they love what I do, I've helped them to heal themselves. In this case, you know, they lost after 26 years of marriage, we were able to get them back to feeling so different in that relationship, feeling calm, listening to themselves, reconnecting to themselves, letting the emotions actually be very healthy, and different programs. And that was only after one session. We didn't even do the group. So this is what it looks like, okay? You can start literally today. Everything's thread up, ready to go. You start down here, we look at your mind, your body relationships. We do a daily guide. What are you actually doing on a daily basis? How you're anchoring in. We look at where you are, we take you through, we look at metaphysically, but also physically, the digestive system, and how you relate to the world. We look at your beliefs and the power of beliefs and how they're in fact changing your life. We go to the place of story and we literally start to unravel the history and put in a positive. We start to really create with you what you want it to be, okay? Because as we start to change these, you know, all the heavier ones, the limiting ones, we put these in, so different outcome. You start making the shifts, you're starting to live in that space physically, emotionally, and mentally, and you start to get the rewards. Now, like I said, this just goes on, okay? This doesn't stop. You may often, you know, spiral, and that's normal because the whole learning cycle is about, you know, sharpening the saw, as Stephen Covey would say. But if you start somewhere, it will change down the line. So you have choice. You can stay where you're just always looking for help but not sure, you not have the courage, not know what to do, or you can start to own it, ask for help, look at your stuff, heal your past, let go of the things that are stopping you from being who and what you want to be, and step into the power, okay? So the choice is, what do you really want to do? And just remember back what it felt like, you know, 6 months, 2 years, in that 10-year time frame. How different did you feel during that exercise? What thoughts came up? What dreams maybe actually been activated? What wishes came to the fore? And they're possible because what you see can come to fruition, okay? So if you're ready to heal, if you're ready to let go, if you're ready to create the choices what you want in your life on your terms and be empowered with those choices, not just doing, but actually empowered because it's coming from a totally different space, then I'm going to suggest this is a program that will certainly make a difference. This is what it looks like, okay? 3 personalized transformational sessions. This is the RTT, this is the hypnotherapy, this is the really, really deep stuff. You get 3 nutrition or strategy sessions because not everyone wants to do the nutrition side, and that's perfectly okay. We can do strategy sessions to help you create the plan, you know, the footprint of where you're going to step through. You have group 6 group sessions in the Facebook Live and the closed group that's just for us. You get the benefits of each other going, oh, that was me too. This is how I helped. This is what it was like for me. Oh, yeah, thanks for bringing that up because I had a similar experience. So like I said, it's 12 weeks and it can be self-paced. Okay, you are responsible for logging in and making those times. And yes, I will follow up and see if I've noticed that there's a bit of a lag between visits. I will certainly be checking up on you. We do lots of deep diving. So if you don't or you're not prepared to be challenged with love, then again, you may not be ready for this group because I am a challenger and an activator. I do say things that often will put people offside a little bit, but it's intended to go, oh, this is, it's for you to feel the stuff that's stopping you from being what you want to be, okay? And I do it to myself all the time. So it's not just a payback, it's not projection. I do it to me all the time myself. We look at the mind, the body, the spirit. We look at food, emotions, behavior, your food triggers, and your inflammation. And we really do the whole body thing, okay? Now, you may not be ready for the whole 12 weeks, and that's perfectly okay, because I do also have a 1 month, one topic program available too, or there is a self-paced, so you will still get everything but the individual sessions, and there is just the self-paced version of all of this as well. So if you are ready to jump in, this is where you need to go and book in your fit, okay, the chat. So that is the program. Support, teach, and empower you to shift from your overwhelm to creating your life on your terms. That's what it's about. That's what it's designed to do. So that's the end of the presentation as such. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hop out of here. Just bear with me. What I'm going to do is take you to the website that, where are you? Here we go. So this is what the program looks like. This is obviously the link for the page. Okay. So this is what you get. We really just deep dive. We just keep on deep diving as much as you feel comfortable. So if you are the age of roughly 35 to 55, and that's flexible still, but you're feeling stuck in your life, your health, relationships, or your career, and you're ready to take ownership for that. If you're willing to learn tried and tested tools to heal your limiting beliefs, not just because I've tried and tested them, but because this is what a lot of the people in the, the big change arena use. Okay, I've learned from the best. If you want to be appreciated and supported, guided, and the health space held with you during this, then this is for you. Okay, life does get easier, better, healthier. It becomes friendly. It becomes a lot more relaxed. You become a lot more confident. You can go, I can do this. And you always have that backup among the group and myself to give you the extra support and encouragement. You learn to let go of all these things that are stopping you, the belief that maybe you're not enough, good enough, or pretty enough, that you deserve to be punished, and that's a common one, that you just should be left alone, that life isn't safe or it's not safe for me, okay? Intense emotions such as the guilt, the shame, the anger, the hopelessness, the helplessness, the sadness, the heartbrokenness, the anxiety and depression, okay? I've felt all of these and I know what it feels like. It's just a crappy place to live. Even when your memories and your thoughts come up, they do literally hold you hostage because it takes you back to these. So we want to be able to break this cycle and give you more empowered beliefs so you can live more at this level. Yes, you will still circle down here, but the circle gets smaller, lighter, and less powerful, okay? So this is what it's about. Book the time, let's have the chat. But if you're really ready, if you know this is for you and you're confident that you're ready to be able to do the work, basically, just pay, just book, okay? Everything's ready to get started. Click the button, okay? It will take you to the PayPal booking page. It will then take you back and you'll start receiving your emails straight away. You can then, from that page, log in your appointments to start talking with me and let's start to make this deal work, okay? Let's start shifting you from feeling trapped, because ultimate healing is an inside job. Your life control is your responsibility, okay? And when you connect with your own truth, what you're meant to be doing on your life journey, when your passion point and your why and your life purpose, life just gets better. Okay, so if now is the time for you to listen to your body, listen to the environment that you're living in, you're ready to change your body function, your chemistry, heal your health, your mind. If you're ready to reclaim yourself and reclaim your life, now is the time. Now is the time, okay? And if not now, maybe even in a month's time. You know, I'm not leaving that I'm aware of as such, okay? This is an online program, so it's not as if you have to be where I'm living. That's not what it's about. It's about helping you to see your secrets, what is actually hidden in your body that's coming up to be listened to. Is it actually yours? And that's something I haven't touched on yet. It may not even be yours. What are your stresses? What are your button points that you can actually change the button from a red to a green? So instead of being a painful, button, you can actually make it a playful one, or you can make it a healthy one. And you get to choose, instead of your body chemistry changing and dictating how you feel because you're eating the wrong foods or the wrong medication. You can start to change that, and then you start taking ownership of your body chemistry again, because you're using the foods that actually work with you instead of against you. Okay? So I know this program works, and this is a full price. Okay, so I'm not BSing you. That is the full price. Up here is the discount price. If you've listened to this whole webinar, then you have access to this. If not, that's okay. Another time, another place. So I am going to now close this webinar down. If there's any other questions at this point, leave a message, ask out, and just reach out. Lovely to work with you this morning, and I will speak to you very, very soon. Okay, ciao.